Hey guys, Demonic here with Demon's Gaming Domain. So here's my attempt at a non-complicated guide into how nodes work, node management for workers, how to set up your workers, and a workshop, logging, all that good stuff. I'm going to try to make it as simple as possible. That's the goal. So I don't have a really good analogy for nodes. But here's how I'm going to explain it. At every city is the main branch. And from here, like all the nodes branch out. So nodes connect to cities, and then you can connect nodes to other nodes, etc. So here's a good way of explaining it. The yellow lines you see are nodes that have connected. Nodes that are enabled are red. Nodes that are not enabled, i.e. invested, are gray. So to invest in a node, go to the node manager. And then you can invest contribution. Now I'll talk about the workers here shortly. So after you have done that, you can start connecting your nodes however it is that you want them set up for. If you have something specific in mind. For trading, you will need... This is not a good optimization of nodes, by the way. And the map is pretty terrible. Terribly detailed. So you can see from Vale, you have all the major cities connected. This will help in trading. You get trade items even from farming mobs. And if nodes aren't connected to their point of origin, you will only get 30% of their sell price. And you also need nodes connected, say, for Hex. So for Hex, I have to go all the way here, through here, to Kepler. But I like to have everything right now connected all the way up to Altanova. I have a lot of work that I personally need to do on my node management, but I'm waiting until I actually get Artisan or Master on trading for the Desert Trade buff. So what you can do with... One of the things you can do with nodes, the primary appeal, is leveling them up. What this does, you ideally want a 9 or a 10 before you actually start noticing increased loot drops. So you don't need to actually visit them to invest energy, and you invest energy to give it XP to level it up. So I just leveled it up to 7. Now past 5, 6, if you don't have over 100 energy, it could take quite a while. But if you did what I recommended in my first guide, orientation, create as many characters as possible. This is so you have energy on multiple characters, so you can just swap them out, and you can check to see who has how much energy through here. So I have a lot, but I'm planning on using that energy for something specific later, so I'm not spending them. And so basically, what you need to do to set up your workers first is have some nodes. So, for example, once I have invested in a node, then I need to invest in a production node, which is these right here. Don't worry about specialties, that's for gold bars, and you need a rank 1 house, which is incredibly difficult, so don't worry about that right now. But potato farming. Potato farming is good for making beer, and in turn you use beer to feed your workers because they have a stamina bar, which is it looks kind of like their health under the icon. So you hit right trigger A and then just hit A to automatically feed all your workers, or you can just go into one manually and hit A or X to use as many items as possible to fully fill up their stamina bar. Sometimes the recover all will only fill it up a certain amount, so you'll have to go in and do that. I get OCD with it. I try to keep them full at all times sometimes, which is not always a good idea. But to start off, before you have potatoes, you can just buy them from the CM. And I'll make a guide for how to craft beer. It's just going to be a newbie cooking tutorial. If you're poor, just go with regular beer. Otherwise, I'd prefer to go cold draft beer. It's only one extra stamina recovery, but that adds up because I buy 60 or more at a time. Right now, I have 700 beer in CM that I made last night. So yeah, that's how you get it. Just buy it from the CM if you don't have potatoes. But you also don't need potatoes specifically. Any grain like barley, wheat, stuff like that can be substituted for potatoes. The game's not extremely picky on ingredients you can swap out for crafting, so just keep that in mind. Let me go ahead and uninvest this really quick. And you can uninvest, withdraw remotely, but you can only invest if you visit it, unless you have the value pack. And I refuse to pay for the value pack, since unlike PC, you can only get it from the Pearl shop. So I'm not falling for that trap. All right, let's get into workers. So at every sorry about that. So at every city, major node, whatever you want to call it, capital node, this is a good term. There is a worker supervisor. Now, what I recommend is going to every major capital, and because you get one free worker for every major capital. Otherwise, after that, you need to invest in lodging, and lodging allows you to hire more workers. Now, I would recommend to have at least 100 energy or plus when recruiting a worker, and I'm about to show you why here in a second. It costs energy to recruit workers, and it's purely RNG, kind of like how the black market or whatever works. So you go here, contract workers. You could also use worker exchange if you're not low on funds. Just make sure you know what you're looking for, the various skills they have. That's actually not bad. It's all right, I guess. But anyways, you can buy them here. You could even register workers to sell. But let's go ahead and show you. So I only have 10 energy right now. So it costs 5 every time you try to recruit. So that is not a good example. What you want are yellow human workers, possibly giants. Giants have a large stamina bar. Goblins have a really fast speed rate, so they're good for using them in workshops to craft. And humans have a high luck innately. So luck comes into play with mining and lumbering, because when you're mining and lumbering, that luck is used, and it gives you excuse me, sorry, gives you an increased chance to get side items besides the ore. So that's why luck is important. So that's what you want to use those types of workers for. You can use large stamina, really whatever you want, but I just use humans and goblins for the most part. Now, as you're doing the main quest line, it should give you, I believe, a superior or an artisan worker. And do not get rid of artisan. I've yet to get another artisan through the recruitment game. They're pretty difficult. RNG does not like me on this or many other things. So now I'm going to go into workshops and how to transport items from one place to another without actually visiting them, which also plays into, may not seem like it, but it actually also helps a lot when you're crafting items and you're not anywhere near that city, because when you're crafting items, your workers, they're assigned to Calfian, then it uses the materials to craft in Calfian, and wherever they're assigned, they'll store items in said area. So a Calfian worker will always store lumber, all its items that they're gathering. They'll store them to the Calfian storage. And I mainly have all my workers in Calfian except for the free workers that I have like around Trent and Hyatol and whatnot. So definitely take advantage of the free workers that you get in each district capital. All right, let's get to it. Alright guys, so now you got some workers mining and all that stuff. So go in here, hit enter, hit Y, then go to purchase house. Now, the lexicon for this is goal. This is the different types of workshops. Quite a lot to know. These are all of them just unsorted. Even more. I know. And grade is the level, the tier. And so let's show you an example. So you're going to need sometimes quite a bit of contribution points depending on what you're trying to get. So let's go with horse ranch. Oh no, let's see. Mineral workbench, or even better yet, horse gear. So here we go. Now, stars represent tiers, and each tier has its own stuff you can craft. Now there is a tier 3, I'm not sure there's tier 4 horse gear workshops. This is just an example. So to craft these, just need level 1. To craft these, I have to level it up to 2. Now you can't just buy the workshop directly. You have to buy a lot of other houses typically before you can purchase this. See, it says, in order to purchase this, you must first purchase the houses from the purchase condition list below. Now this goes into play, and this explains why houses are gray. I did not even mean for that to rhyme, so whatever. Anyways, so this one's one I have bought, so it's white. And so if, see how they're connected here on the circles, just like nodes are, regular nodes? So, I mean, if this is, let me show you. Now, before you actually do buy things, go through each one that you have set for. So if you need a tier 3 horse gear workshop, do that. Save you a lot of time. Select horse gear workshop, check purchase conditions, and it'll tell you required contribution points. Now, keep doing that. See, that one's 1 point less. That's 12 again. 10. And if you're really lucky, especially on, there we go, 8. So that's the cheapest one right there. And now with these things that these other houses they're going to buy, they're typically going to be storage and other things like that. So if I go to manage crafting, this is a shortcut that shows me all my purchased houses. So as you'll see, I have a bunch of storage ones. Those are just from, workshops and the requirements that come along with getting the workshops. So you can also swap some of them out for lodgings and other things like that. You can change things as well. So if it's a wagon workshop, if I wanted to get it to this massive storage buff, I could. The reason why I can't on this one is because it says complete 69 out of 73. So here I'm going to show you how to craft things. This is a little bit different of a method. So I'm going to show you to the typical. Go to manage crafting. Now it'll tell you, see that one says not enough resources and storage. This is because if your workers are in Calfian, even if the workshop's say in Hyatol, it's going to use the resources from Calfian's storage. So this is why I recommend everything being done in Calfian. It makes it way less complicated, way more simplistic. So you could use Hyatol workers in your Calfian, but it's gonna use the required mats from the storage in Hyatol. Now, since you're already gonna have storage houses in Calfian from buying workshops, it's recommended just to use Calfian. Otherwise, you're literally just wasting contribution points in Hyatol for the extra storage points there. So, select an item. See that one, fishing rod. So I can just go through my list here. It'll tell me estimated work time in the bottom right, 30 minutes. Pretty much the same for all of these, but you can see there's a little bit varied. So depending on the item, it's going to take longer. Higher tier items are going to take even longer. It's an hour, 20 minutes, 2 hours, depending on their work speed and perks and all that. Some perks make them work faster. Now, once you find an item that you can craft, hit A on the person. It's going to show the check mark on the portrait right here. Then hit Y as many times as you want to craft. I usually just do 50,000 always. Then hit start work. The reason why I do 50,000 is because then after they're crafting, hit left trigger up, then go down to worker list. So if it says they're waiting and you have previously assigned them to do something, there's either storage filled up if they're working, like mining and stuff like that, and so they're not able to work, or stamina has been drained, so you have to hit X to force them to work again. Now see, it's not going to tell you that your storage is full where they are, but it's going to give you this message. This has been since day one. I've even submitted a bug report. The developer's like, alright, we'll fix it. That was like 2-3 months later, or ago, so they really don't care. So if you see some error messages, chances are your storage is full, or there's not enough stamina. If it gives you a stamina error, sometimes it'll even give you a stamina error when it has full stamina. That's because there's not enough resources in the storage. It won't always tell you this, so just keep that in mind. I don't even have these guys assigned. I have to go through that. But yeah, so there you go. And so I just do 50,000, then I hit RT plus X and force everyone to go through the repeated work. Now, transporting items. So, now that you know how to craft things, so here's for an example. You're in Velia, like I am now. Your workshops are in Calfian, like mine are. This is all for example purposes. So, let's say I go in here. I need to craft something that requires something I don't have. So, go down to manage crafting. So right there, I need 50 maple plywood, right, to craft this. So one of the things I can do, since it's all being taken care of in Calfian storage, I don't have to worry about the storage being taken care of Hyatol, even though it's crafted Calfian, etc., is just go to the market. If I need to buy something, if it's something expensive, you know.
Our town is peaceful.
Freaking laggy game. Come on, there we go. Then just search for whatever it is you need, buy it, or if you have it, if you're using your warehouse as another storage tool, then just say let's take this rough. Yeah, just take this rough stone. So I've got that. Now, how could I get this to Calfian without ever leaving the city? And even transporting items from one storage to another without ever moving a spot. So as long as it's already in the warehouse,
need to use the storage?
you can remotely transfer things. Now, you don't have to use it from this guy to transfer things. You can do it from the map, and I'm going to show you how in a second. So you just do that here. Then set destination to, say, Calfian City. Transportation Velia. So what this means in transportation, if I was to select Altanova, it would take a transportation wagon, and it would start at Altanova. Then it would go to Velia, where I am now. Pick up the items, then it would go to Calfian, which is completely redundant in this situation, because you just hit Velia, bam, Velia, Calfian. So that's explained right there. Then it's also going to use a transport fee. So I recommend having at least a mill in each warehouse possible, because this way you can just transport without ever having to worry about, the transport fee. Transport fee, if the nodes aren't connected, there is going to be a penalty. You really don't have to worry about that unless you're transporting like thousands and thousands of items, but even then, you really shouldn't have much difficulty at this point in the game with silver, like 1 mil silver. You can easily make that in like 15, less than 15 minutes just fishing. So, and hit send. Now, how you can do it from the map, go open your map. So here's also how you can view storage in remote places. Okay, go into enter, hit Y, you can go warehouse. And then you can see your items. Now, you won't be able to hit X on your items. This is a bug still, since day one that the devs will not fix. So some items you can, some items you can't. No explanation why. Some things work, some things don't. But anyways, so that's how you can view your items and see what's where without actually visiting a storage queue. Now, transport. So that's preparing. That means it's preparing. So I had already sent this before. So if you have something transporting from one place to another, either sent location or receiving location, it's going to have the gift icon. So that's how you can keep track. Transport. Then I can just hit Y to get all, or I can hit A. Now see, I can even send things from Calfians directly to Velia without even visiting the storage manager. Outer Flame, sure. Velia. Transportation, Velia. Send. Now here's a really cool trick that I don't think a lot of people will tell you or have even realized you can do. So, you can have a backlog of items. So,
You can keep more goods if
say my Velia is completely full, and I wanted to transport, or here, even vice versa. Say my Calfian city is full, I could transport all of this, and then it would be in like a state of limbo. So even though Calfian is full, I still have those items in Calfian. All I have to do is I'd have to go into transport and then claim them. So if it's full, you can still send items there. Then what that does is that leaves this storage, theoretically completely empty. I've done this a million times. So this is like, it's not an exploit, but it's just like how you can take advantage of the CM and storing things. So keep that in mind. That's a really cool trick that I absolutely love about this. Ooh.
Just leave me alone.
And I think that's it, guys. I think I covered all of that extensively. All my tips and tricks and stuff like that. You can also view stables as a last note. Go into stable. You can see horses that you have stored places. So be sure to like, subscribe, comment, guys. I'm going to have some more content coming soon. But as I've been saying, I've had an on and off, mainly on fever for the past 40 days. Been pretty sick. So I'll eventually get around to it. Peace.
Be sure to subscribe, and subscribe.